begin by picking up a theme that we're hearing so far, and it's that theme of bravery, and declare that bravery is not wearing green pants on stage, but it is that bravery of laying in a hospital bed and saying, I want to be a part of this, and doctor, I want you to join me and be part of this on Twitter and be part of it in real life. It is, as Dylan told us, the bravery to refuse to die by staying ignorant, by not embracing the ideas of others. And I think that's an incredible theme. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about some moments of bravery. I think it's absolutely necessary to embrace that kind of bravery and listen to the voices and the ideas and the values and the experiences of others. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. And this is a story. It's a story that has multiple parts, a lot like the Hunger Games or Harry Potter. And I'm here to tell you a couple of things. First, you're going to hear part one today. And you're going to hear the story about an incredible journey and a team and everything they go through. And there's parts about a faraway land and magic. And there's a spoiler alert here. There is a happy ending. But I'm sad to say you're only going to hear chapter 1 today, or book 1. You'll have to come back next year to hear the second part, and I hope you will. This is being released in installments. It's part of our retention plan at Medicine X. This is a story about a group of heroes and it's a story that is brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim and Medicine X. If my clicker will work. This is our villain. Our villain comes out when someone has a stroke. And when someone has a stroke, every second counts. We learned that if it's an occluded stroke, somebody may lose up to 2 million brain cells per minute. And our villain is all about stopping time and stopping coordination. He's the kind of villain that stands in the way and makes sure that nobody in the care team is coordinated and connected. And what happens, of course, with any good superhero story, is there is a bat signal that goes out, and you can imagine for the MedX team, it's a call in the night, and it shines up. It's a little bit like that sign on the wall over there, and it says, "How might we?" And the team assembles very, very quickly, and our heroes gather, and this is a very dashing lot, right? Just like the Justice League, we have a mix of superpowers. We have a patient, and we have a physician, and we have a researcher, and we have a pharmaceutical expert. We even have a former French football player. And this is this incredible team that includes designers and wonderful experts. And the team assembled and flew off in our jets to faraway lands to go and battle the villain. We were first greeted by the local experts who welcomed us and took us in. And these are researchers and physicians who showed us how the villain strikes during stroke care, and that every moment can cost seconds, and seconds add up to minutes. And that's why the villain is tricky. The villain knows that time is really hard to measure in these moments that are critical, and that the process depends on those moments and seconds. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, our heroes went to work, retracing the villain's steps and thinking, how can we keep the villain from tricking everyone? How can we help everyone be connected? And we learned that researchers see the villain differently, and physicians see him differently, and patients have an entirely different perspective altogether. This is clearly very hard work, in case anyone was feeling sorry for our heroes. And meanwhile, back in the basement layer of headquarters here, amongst these supercomputers and other superhero accoutrements, we began to dig into the data, this data around understanding time and processes related to stroke care. And we had this incredible understanding, and we stepped back and thought about it and lived with that data in the way that a design team does. And we learned 3 things. We learned that time should help create a sense of urgency without stress. We learned that tracking time matters, but so does knowing what the time is during a stroke procedure in that moment. And most of all, we learned that the solution should help create a sense of team readiness. And that team part was really important and part of coming out of an everyone included design project. So we added on to our learning through some more understanding, and we brought in some more superheroes. We brought in a healthcare simulation expert and a computer science expert, and we started to make sense of what we were learning and seeing some patterns emerging and some themes. And these are the kinds of things you only see when the team is incredibly diverse and includes patients and designers and doctors and experts all collaborating together. We began to understand how to defeat our villain. Maybe it's not about measuring time at all. Maybe we don't even have to play by the same rules as the villain. We learned that if our team were only medical researchers or only pharma experts or only doctors or only patients, we might see the problem very, very narrowly. We'd have a quick focus, but success would be very, very narrowly defined. In an everyone-included design team, one that includes patients and physicians and designers and researchers and experts and end users, we learned that the goals broaden to encompass the unique views each person has on the team. But simultaneously, by broadening that goal, a focus begins to emerge. It's a different focus. It's a focus on solving for the entire team. In this case, we began to imagine the entire team defeating the villain, not just one player. So this is where chapter 1 of our story ends. You might be wondering, have our heroes prevailed? What has come of this work? Have we cracked the code and able to defeat the villain? And I'm here to tell you that there is a wonderful, wonderful part 2 of this story, but you'll have to wait till next year to find out, and I hope you'll come back to hear what happens. Thank you.